Welcome back. It's me today, guys, and I want to talk about something I think some of you guys can relate to. This episode is 5 life lessons I've learned from daytime tennis. So let's go. I don't know exactly when this happened, but at some point in my life, I became someone who plays daytime tennis. And if you know, it's not just tennis. It's a whole ecosystem, a culture. Honestly, it's a bit of a social experiment. There's strategy, there's competition, there's personalities, there's some very strong opinions. And the more I've played, the more I've realized there are actually a lot of life lessons happening out there on the court. Honestly, enough that I'm thinking this could be a reality series. I would call it 3.0. Netflix, feel free to call me. I have ideas. But until that happens, I'll give you the highlights here. 5 things daytime tennis has taught me about life. Lesson number 1, not everything needs to be taken that seriously. You have people out there acting like it's Wimbledon. And then you have people who are just thrilled that they made contact with the ball. And somehow they're all playing together. And here's the thing. You can be really good and you can still have fun. But sometimes it looks like there is absolutely no fun being had. And I find myself thinking, why are you doing this? Because yes, you can be competitive. Yes, you can care. And yes, you can want to win. But if you've completely removed the enjoyment from it, what's the point? And I think that's such a good reminder in life too. Not everything needs to be approached at a level 10. Some things can be a 6. Some things can even be a 4. And honestly, the people who keep perspective, who can hold both, they're good and they're enjoying it, they tend to not only have a better perspective and a better experience, but they usually perform better too. All right, lesson number 2, your energy matters more than your skill. You can technically be really good, but if your energy is off, if you're frustrated, you're negative, you're tense, it changes everything. And the opposite is also true. The people you actually want to play with again, they're positive, they're adaptable. They don't make every missed shot a situation. And here's the other thing I've learned, especially in doubles. When you get in your own head or your partner gets in their head, you're actually the person best positioned to help shift that. I was playing a match recently. Oh my gosh, I was playing terribly. And I was just fully in my head. Like nothing was working. I was overthinking everything and I was a complete head case. My partner looks at me and just goes, when all else fails, just sing Happens to Me by Russell Dickerson. So let me just, I don't know how many of you guys are country fans, but if you know something about me, you know that I am. So I literally am, I'm serving and I'm like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sing this song to myself while I'm getting ready to serve. And it worked. But here, let me just... About to wreck someone. Okay, so if you're in your own head, sing that song. Okay, sing that song. Honestly, it worked. I don't know if it was just thinking about something else, but it completely shifted my energy. And I just think that's such a good reminder, not just in tennis, but in life. We have more influence over the energy of a situation than we really think we do. Sometimes it's just lightening the mood or changing the tone or helping someone get out of their head because your energy is what people remember, not just on the court, but in business, in friendship, in life. And as the saying goes, people will forget what you did, but they're never going to forget how you made them feel. All right, lesson number 3, just show up. Don't psych yourself out. This one is really about showing up and not psyching yourself out before you even get there. Because if you've played tennis, you know there are people who know the rating and ranking of every single person in the league. And listen, I'm not above it. Sometimes I ask for the intel too, but for me, it goes back to my swimming days. The heat sheets for a swim meet are poison. You look at them, you start overthinking, you start comparing, you start deciding how it's going to go before you even step up. And the reality is you can win from any lane. And the same thing applies here. You can win on any court. And you also have to be prepared that court 1 players, they could be on any court. They can be anywhere. So instead of getting caught up in who you're playing or where you're playing or what their record is, you just show up, prepared, mentally and physically ready, focused on your game. Because the second you start playing the opponent in your head before the match even starts, you've already lost a little bit of your edge. And I think this applies to so many things in our lives. We psych ourselves out before we even start, instead of just showing up and letting it play out. So sometimes the best thing you can do is keep it really simple. Show up, be prepared, trust yourself. You've got this one, sis. Lesson number 4, communication solves almost everything. Communication is key. And I mean, if you've ever played doubles, you already know this, because nothing exposes communication issues faster than being on a court with someone else. Calling balls, figuring out who's got it, trying to adjust mid-match when something isn't working. And when there's no communication, it's absolute chaos. But when you actually talk and when you share what you're seeing, what you're thinking, what's working, what's not, everything just gets better. And it's not just about talking. It's also about being open to what your partner is seeing. They're seeing things you're not noticing, patterns that you might not see. And when you trust that, when you're willing to adjust and try something new and shift your strategy, that's when things can really start to turn. But it only happens when there's communication and trust. And honestly, I mean, this applies to everything. Most problems aren't actually the problem. They're the lack of communication around the problem or the unwillingness to listen. And when you actually communicate clearly, honestly, openly, it solves most things. Am I right? All right, lesson number 5. Kindness and sportsmanship are not optional. Kindness and sportsmanship are not optional because I mean, I have seen it all. I've seen it all. Bad calls, terrible attitudes, reactions that feel a little out of proportion to what's actually happening. And every time I see it, I think the same thing. I think they must have a lot going on outside of here to bring all of that in here. And honestly, it's a good reminder because we all have things going on, but that doesn't mean it needs to show up everywhere we go. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself and for everyone around you is just leave it outside, show up, compete, care. All of that is great, but you can do all of that and still be kind. And being kind doesn't mean you're soft. It doesn't mean you don't want to win. It doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you have control over how you show up. Because at the end of the day, people are going to remember how you handled yourself a lot more than they're going to remember the score. So yes, it's daytime tennis, but it's also perspective, energy, showing up, communication, and how you treat people. So if you needed a reminder today, not everything has to be that serious. Your energy matters. Just show up. Communicate, and be kind, even when it's hard, because all of that matters a lot more than the score. And honestly, it's what people will remember long after the match is over. Hope to see you on the court. Before you guys go, if this episode was helpful, share it with someone who might need it or share it with your tennis partner. And make sure you're subscribed, whether that's on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple, wherever you listen. And if you really want to support the show, taking a moment to leave a review means so much. You all are the best. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, the key is in the details, and the journey is just as important as the destination.